Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Ferguson?
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Here.
Ms. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Here.
Council, you received the minutes from the July 27th meeting. Questions or motion?
Make a motion to approve the July 27th minutes. Second.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Ferguson?
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yep.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
And you received current expenses. Any questions?
Make a motion to approve the expenses as submitted.
Second.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Ferguson? Mr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
All right, moving to visitors is Marcy Darlington. Hi.
Glad to see you here. Would that be okay?
Kathy Gray.
I'm Marcy Darlington, and I'm a Madison County resident, and I've come to talk to you today about Make a Difference Day. Make a Difference Day is a nationally recognized day of doing good in one's community. It's been around for 24 years and is sponsored by the Paul Newman Foundation's Points of Light and USA Today. I've been involved in it for 10 years. This is my 10th year. And in the past, I have had projects surrounded by the Arbors West Nursing Home in West Jefferson, where I worked at the time, and also the West Jefferson Good Samaritan Food Pantry. This year, being the 10th year, I decided I wanted to knock it out of the park, and I'm trying to get all of Madison County involved in doing something good for their community on that day. It's always held the 4th Saturday in October, which this year is the 24th. I've come to you today for several reasons. One, in the past, West Jefferson has been kind enough to me and their village council to proclaim October 24th or whatever date it would fall on to be nationally, a recognized day in the village of Plain City. So I'd like to see if at some point in the next couple months, maybe your village council would consider giving us a proclamation calling it, Make a Difference Day in Plain City. I have ambassadors here today for Plain City, Sue Cutler and Missy Bissell. Some of you know them. We're setting up 4 hubs in Mount Sterling, London, West Jefferson, and Plain City, where we are going to have nonprofits set up on that day and talk about the things that they do to help people in the community. I'm a strong believer that there's a lot of good organizations out there, but there's people that need them and really just don't know that they exist. And so we're going to try to let people know what's out there to help them in their time of need. It's also going to serve as a hub for any volunteers that want to gather that day and go out and do a community project to meet. When they get finished, they can come back in. We'll have a chicken noodle dinner that they can partake in, and we'll give them little goodie bags for volunteering. At the end, we're going to wrap it all up. We're going to turn it in and try to receive a $10,000 grant from the Paul Newman Foundations. They do award 10 of those each year. And they don't just take the big giant companies that have all the volunteers in the world. They look at the impact that your project has on its community. I think it's an opportunity for Madison County to shine in Ohio, and I'm very excited about doing it. I've brought flyers I'd like to pass out, if that's okay. And does anybody have any questions? My contact information is on there, and some of you didn't get cards. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please call Sue or Missy. Here's some cards too. And I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about it today.
Thank you.
We were shy a couple handouts. Do you
I have
have
some over here. We have
Oh,
some
there's
others.
some. There you go.
Is it okay to leave a few of the cards just out there on your counter, or would you like to look at them first, or?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And Tim Suter with First Energy is with us this evening as well, to address council.
Thank you, Mayor. Council. Good evening. I'm here basically to give you a check. First of all, I'd just like to thank you for your years of service here. I know you and your council gone through some tough times since 2008. You know, the money is always the big issue, and I hope today to have, this check to your park system. It's unencumbered, use it any way you want. But it's for the quality of life, and I've seen improvements in, the times that I've been around here with your pool and your parks and your downtown areas and all that, and I just want to commend you for it. And pass on a $2,500 check for you to use.
Thank you.
So I don't know.
Thank you.
Have a camera.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay right here because I can't jump over all these people.
On the other side.
That's why I'm over here.
Okay. Professional, very
There's a
good.
real check underneath there
Okay.
from the CIC
Ready?
we talked about.
Shall we shake?
Yeah.
Oh, good, good. Okay.
You good?
Okay. Good.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Losing the traffic.
If there's, from the Ohio Edison side, if anybody has any questions or any concerns, if they're willing to, if I answer them before I leave. if there's any. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. We should invite him every week.
Do we need to decide now what to use that for, or is that just going general funds, or is? The parks. Oh, okay, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
The 5,000 you'd offered, I went back to him and said, we could still use money, and mentioned bicentennial, but apparently they did it through the CIC, and it had to be very specific apparently, so that's fine. All right. I have a couple things. We had talked to you about Congressman Jordan's office coming, and they did, and we met with them, Kevin and I, Inga and Carrie and Linda Peters came, and it was a good meeting. But then he contacted us back and wanted to come back, and so actually Congressman Jordan did come and met with Kevin and Inga and I. And we're putting together a list of things that we think that we could use help with, that we feel are issues. One of the big things that we brought up was the EPA and the struggle we have with them on a regular basis. And we'll see. They're very willing to help. You just don't know at the federal level how much can be done. So we're going to talk to them about some grants for some various things like that. So it was a good meeting. Also, I've talked to you about a commercial property we've been trying to work with, and it's going on for months. And I would say that there's still a slight outside chance it might happen, but we have some property owners in town who have just escalated their prices and actually turned them completely off. And so it may not happen. We're looking at some other property, but I don't have a lot of hope. But just FYI, when the community doesn't back what we're trying to do economically, then this is what happens. We don't get growth, we don't see things happening, and it's very frustrating, but just FYI. Okay, moving on with reports. Renee, did you have anything?
I met and finally finished up the audit. She was out last Friday, and hopefully we will get done with that. Don't know the result of it yet, but she finally finished up the utility audit, and I put the July month-end total reports in your bins. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Anything else? All right. Chief.
I just have a couple things this week. I was a guest speaker at the Plain City Historical Society. I spoke with them for about 30 minutes. And just lastly, Sergeant Jaskowitz and Sergeant Praler handled the operations at the police department smoothly as I was on vacation last week. So that's all I have this week.
Administrator Vaughn.
Couple of things. Talked with David Brand last week, and I'm happy to say that the right-of-way acquisitions for Route 42 and West Avenue Perry Pike intersection improvements is complete. Have acquired all the properties we need to get that going. Our cost for the right-of-way acquisitions, as you know, we were responsible for the full cost for the property purchases. It's $173,300.73. The goal now is to get that project to bid yet this year and see construction in 2016. Purdom Paving has been contracted to make the repairs to, excuse me, to Lantern Lane, and hoping to get this completed in the next couple of weeks. Public Works has finished painting all of the stop bars and crosswalks village-wide in preparation of school starting in 2 weeks. And we have submitted our claim with the Ohio Attorney General's office for the rock salt anti-trust lawsuit with Morton Salt Cargill, but we purchased all of our salt from Morton, so hopefully we'll get a little bit of money returned on that. The closing for that was the 7th. They have extended it for another 2 weeks, so we'll wait and see what happens. And last is Brian Taylor has started as a full-time maintenance worker in the streets department. He started today. Unless there's any questions, that's all I have.
Do we have any update on the clock tower?
Clock tower is going to be pushed back till 2016. We had pretty low turnout with that committee recently, and with everything else we had going on, I never had an opportunity to get it done myself. So rather than pushing it this year and trying to get the repairs rushed and not doing it properly, I think the best decision is to wait till 2016 when we can make sure we get it done well.
Actually, fairly quiet on my front. I'll address it, but we have the property maintenance code coming up towards the end of the month, and zoning. The legal litigation, we have filed a motion for summary judgment that is now pending. That would ultimately, if granted, would dismiss the case. There was, and I don't know if it was brought up, I think it happened in between the meeting when I was here last time I was here. Judge Costello has recused himself from the case. I don't believe that he had any actual prior involvement with that whole situation, but he felt it best to, upon motion of the plaintiffs in that case, he recused himself. So we're awaiting appointment of another judge, so we don't have anybody on the appointment to the case yet. Otherwise, I think that's about it. I think we're gonna put something together for the bicentennial fund that we're drafting here. Before the next meeting, we'll have a resolution to establish a bicentennial fund.
Thank you. Planning and zoning.
Yes, we meet on the 19th, as Lafayette said, regarding the street maintenance. And then Blaine from United Methodist Church gave me numbers regarding the Vida Church that happened on August 2nd. And they were able to provide 243 kids with backpacks, 63 families who got clothes, and then 189 kids got school clothes during that day or during that weekend that they had. So they found it was very successful.
That's great. They always do a good job. Thank you. BZA.
We've had no issue that we've had to meet about. But as pro tem, if I can step back, we just want to remind everyone we have our meeting on Thursday. It's at 5 o'clock. I'd like if everyone can bring their Rock Mill presentation stuff. I think that's probably a good launching off point for us. Renee is graciously offered to get us some snacks and water and stuff like that, so we will have hydration and energy foods to keep us going late into the evening. But if anyone thinks of any other items that we need to bring, just send out an email and we'll put it together. And we've moved it to the firehouse.
No, Canaan Township.
Canaan Township.
Oh, we did move that one to the, okay, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Canaan?
Canaan
Canaan
Township.
Township.
Okay. I'm sorry, I thought we moved.
If they didn't have a big event.
That's fine, okay.
5 o'clock, right?
5 o'clock. Yeah.
Do we need like something like that, post-it writing like that?
Yeah, we've got that. It's not kind of like an easel and a
Yeah.
whiteboard and whatnot.
Thank you.
I did, yes.
Paul's offered to donate the pizza for us.
It's fun. Just one.
As many as you need.
20?
Just don't have the car overload halfway through.
30 pieces?
All right. Anything on CIC?
Both have met, there's nothing to report.
All right. Park.
Parks, we should be meeting next week to finalize the part 3 of our, well, we couldn't put a name to it, but as to how we're charging for those things.
The plan. All right. Personnel finance.
We met this evening at 6 o'clock, a short meeting, but we discussed the preliminary budget. And we'll have another meeting to iron that out here in a few weeks. And we talked about the possibility of putting on a tax levy in May on the ballot, either a property tax or an income tax. I think that's something we decided we need to discuss Thursday at the retreat. And we went over some employment agreements for, we went into executive session to discuss some employment agreements. And that's still in the works. And that is about all we got done.
Fire.
Meeting's Thursday night.
Okay.
And Jim, you said you'd be able to make it to the retreat after that?
I'm out there,
Okay, what time's your meeting?
5:30.
5, okay, all right. Look forward to that.
Okay. Great. Thank you. All right. Old business. Second reading of resolution 2015, which is the speed limit reduction.
I just want to make sure, I know I might have overlooked when I first read this through, it came right before the last meeting, kind of late in the day. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page, that the distance where it's going to be lowered from, to 25 is the whole section between 42 and 161. I just wanted to make sure everybody still thinks that's a good idea. I didn't know originally if we had talked about maybe going from the park entrance to 161 or maybe Milton to 161. I wasn't quite clear.
That was the discussion early on, yes.
What?
That it wouldn't go the full way.
Okay. But I thought it was always intended from 161 north, either to Milton or 42. That was the original intent, wasn't it?
There was discussion at the
It was
time. that
one
it
or the
wouldn't-
other, but it wasn't starting at the park going north.
No, no.
Okay.
No, or no. Park South, I think is what she meant.
Does it make sense from a policing standpoint to have 2 speeds on such a short section of road?
My understanding was that it was gonna be from Main Street to 42,
Okay.
and why, 25 all the way through.
That's where it's
Yeah,
at.
right, that's the way it's drawn.
Okay, yeah, I would be more in favor of that than
Then have
making a
broken-
short distance 35. I mean,
Okay.
I just wanted to be clear.
Okay.
That's-
Okay.
Motion to approve the second reading of Resolution 20-15.
Second.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Ferguson? Yes. Mr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
All right. Went from UPCO. I know that Wine by the Glass, the paperwork was submitted and they were told that when you submit a petition, it is a two-sided piece of paper. And they had copied it so that it was two pieces of paper. And that's how it went around and signatures were done. And so it was submitted, but they told them it's wrong. And it's possible that they may put it through. My argument was that this isn't an election, you know, it's not, we're not dealing with individuals. And hopefully, I talked to the prosecutor and he was going to talk to the Board of Elections, but who knows? Julie felt like their legal counsel felt like it could be pushed through if it came down to that, if they tried to stick that closely to the issue. But, so we don't know. We don't know yet. But they have enough signatures. They all did a good job of going out and getting signatures. But it's pending as to whether it will be on the ballot or not. So, and I know they're starting planning for Christmas under the clock. They're having their first meeting, I think.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? So,
No, Wednesday, I'm sorry.
and beyond that, I don't know anything. Anything else? Council have anything else before? Okay. That was a really quick meeting. And it's, I think we have a break out there, so does someone want to make a
motion to
motion?
adjourn.